My wife named our son after her ex and laughed. He's not yours, I'm taking half. I got a DNA test, a lawyer, and left. 3 months later, she was homeless and begging. I didn't look back. Hello, Reddit I plus here. My name is Eli Warren, 34, a systems analyst and part-time app developer. 5 days ago, I became a father, or so I thought. My wife, Sabrina, 30, had just been discharged from the hospital after giving birth to what I believed was our son. We'd agreed on a name months ago. Noah Warren. Simple, strong, and meaningful. I was at home sorting through hospital paperwork, discharge instructions, insurance forms, and the birth certificate. That's when the floor fell out from under me. Name, Jason Carter Warren. Jason Carter. I froze. That wasn't a typo. That was the full name of Sabrina's ex-boyfriend, Jason Carter, the man she swore was ancient history. I walked into the bedroom where Sabrina sat propped up in bed, the baby nestled beside her, scrolling her phone. Why does the birth certificate say Jason Carter, not Noah? I asked. She didn't even look up. Changed my mind last minute. Jason sounds better. I stared at her. Jason, as in, your ex? She looked up slowly. I saw it happen. Her face, her posture. The mask slipped. Cold steel replaced her usual tired warmth. You figured it out quicker than I thought, she said with a twisted smirk. Yeah, he's Jason's, not yours. The room began to tilt. I've been seeing him for almost a year. It just happened. We didn't plan it, but when I found out I was pregnant, I hoped he'd come back. He didn't. So I stayed with you. She looked me dead in the eyes. What are you gonna do? Divorce me? Please. This is a no-fault state. I still get half. The house, your savings. Oh, and let's not forget child support. She reached over, adjusted the baby's swaddle, and said without emotion, so you can stay and play daddy or leave and pay. Either way, I win. I didn't scream. I didn't throw anything. I didn't even speak. I just left the room. My first stop was a private lab for a paternity test. My second was Langford and Bray, a high-end law firm known for divorce and fraud cases. Cassandra Bray, lead attorney, met with me that same day. After listening to my story, she leaned forward and said, "You're dealing with what we call paternity fraud. But don't worry, she won't be the one writing the ending." She laid out the plan. Step 1, confirm paternity. Step 2, secure all financial records, especially anything showing what I owned before marriage. Step 3, remove myself, quietly and legally, from the situation. Don't argue. Don't tip her off. I followed every step. 3 days later, the test came back. 0% match. Not my child. I spent the next week documenting everything. Screenshots of her admission, photos of financial files, transferring key items and irreplaceable heirlooms into storage. I rented a new apartment under a different name. When Sabrina went to her 6-week postpartum appointment with her mom, the movers came. By 10 a.m., I was gone. I left the divorce papers on the kitchen counter with a note that read, "All communication through legal counsel." The storm began. 23 missed calls. Dozens of texts. "You can't do this. You're abandoning your family. You'll regret this." I didn't reply. Cassandra told me to keep everything. Screenshots, voicemails, emails. Evidence. By day 3, she escalated. "Fine. Be a coward. But you're still paying for both of us. That baby needs stability." But the desperation in her tone didn't match her threats. The more she spiraled, the more I knew I'd made the right call. Day 5, she sent her sister Danielle to my office, cornered me in the parking lot. "She made a mistake," Danielle said, "but she thought you'd step up. Be the bigger person. She tried to commit financial and emotional fraud," I replied. "That's not a mistake. That's a plan. She needs your support." She had it, until she replaced me. 6 weeks later, preliminary hearing. Sabrina looked haggard, baby in her arms. Her usual confidence dulled. Her lawyer stuttered through objections. But Cassandra was prepared. DNA test. Financial proof that 85% of our home was purchased with funds from my premarital business sale. Voicemail, where Sabrina told her friend, "If Eli leaves, I'll drag him until he's broke." The judge was stone-faced. "This court does not tolerate fraud disguised as family matters," he said. He froze the marital assets, ordered Sabrina to vacate my home office, and scheduled the final hearing for 45 days later. A month later, she lost it. She emptied our frozen joint account, nearly $4,000, and tried to show up at my apartment. The concierge called me. I recorded her pounding on my door, screaming with the baby crying in the background. "Open up, Eli. You can't just pretend we never existed." I didn't move. I just called the building's private security. That video became part of Cassandra's case for a protective order. The judge approved it. Cassandra was ice cold in court. Surgical. Sabrina's financial disclosures were incomplete. She missed 2 deadlines. She also left voicemails begging my friends to mediate. The judge wasn't impressed. Final ruling, house to be sold. 80% of profits to me, no child support. I am not the legal or biological father. She must pay $9,000 toward my legal fees. Birth certificate to be amended, protective order extended by 6 months, Sabrina wept. But Your Honor, Jason won't help us. Eli's the only father this child has. The judge didn't flinch. Then you'll need to pursue legal paternity through Mr. Carter. This court doesn't assign financial liability based on convenience. 6 months later, I was grabbing coffee near my apartment when I saw her, Sabrina. Worn down, thin, clothes baggy, baby in a sling. Please, Eli, she said, stepping into my path. I'm not asking to come back, just 5 minutes. I'm sleeping in my car. I said nothing. Jason's ghosted me. Won't answer. My parents are moving out of state. I have nowhere to go. Maybe you know someone hiring? I looked her in the eyes. You destroyed everything good you had for a man who walked away. And you laughed while you did it. Please, he's just a baby. I stepped back. So am I supposed to pay for your lies? Just don't leave me like this. I turned to walk away. I already did. The real revenge wasn't the money or the legal victory. It was standing there, calm and whole, while she stood in the ruins of her own making. She called me a loser. Now I have my peace, my freedom, my life rebuilt. She lost everything. Sometimes revenge doesn't need fireworks. Sometimes it's just walking away and never looking back. 2 weeks after I walked away from Sabrina outside my apartment, I thought I'd finally closed the door on that chapter. But some doors, it turns out, don't stay closed, especially when desperation mixes with entitlement. It started with a strange email forwarded to Cassandra. The subject line read, "Urgent, DNA results enclosed. Custody appeal pending." We opened it. It was from Jason Carter's attorney. Apparently, Sabrina had finally taken Jason to court, hoping to force a paternity test and get support. But the results came back negative. Jason wasn't the father either. Cassandra stared at the screen for a long minute. Either she lied to you and Jason, or there's a third man. My stomach turned. The betrayal I thought I had fully processed, it had just deepened. This child, this entire foundation she built, her threats, her manipulation, her fake power on, was fatherless in every sense. 3 men, none the father. And she named the baby after the one who didn't even bother to show up. Then, 3 days later, came the letter. Not an email, not a text. A handwritten envelope slid under my apartment door in the middle of the night. No name on it. Inside was a 5-page letter from Sabrina. I know you think I'm a monster. Maybe I am. I don't even know who the father is anymore. I was trying to hold on to something. Anyone. You were stable, kind, predictable. I needed that. I just didn't want to give up the other things too. I didn't think you'd ever leave me. You were so easy to manipulate. She didn't even try to deny it. Maybe I pushed you because I wanted to see if you'd fight for me. But you didn't. You fought for yourself. I hate that I respect you now. The letter ended with a line that shook me more than anything else she'd done. If anything happens to me, I named you as next of kin on Alexander's medical forms. I had to put someone. Cassandra was furious. She's baiting you. This is emotional extortion. She's trying to create a legal tether between you and that child. The next day, I filed an official notice of non-paternity and legal disassociation with the county. It ensured I couldn't be listed as emergency contact, guardian, or anything else without consent. That's when it escalated. A week later, 2 a.m., I got a call from County Medical. Sabrina Warren listed you as her emergency contact. She was brought in unconscious. Overdose suspected. The baby is currently with Child Protective Services. I didn't answer immediately, just stared into the darkness. I went, not for her, for the baby, for closure. The hospital room smelled of antiseptic and decay. Sabrina lay pale, oxygen in her nose, monitors beeping. I didn't sit. I didn't hold her hand. The nurse looked up. Are you the father? I shook my head. Number just someone she used to know. Down the hall, a social worker stood beside a CPS officer. Alexander was asleep in a car seat, tiny fists curled against his cheeks. I stared at him. I expected to feel something. Pity, anger, resentment, but all I felt was clarity. Cassandra moved quickly. Within 48 hours, a full written statement was submitted. We made it official, final and permanent. I had no legal or biological connection to the child. I wouldn't be pulled back into the chaos she created. Sabrina survived the overdose. It wasn't fatal. The doctors said it might not even have been genuine. Just enough to scare people, get attention, manipulate. A pattern. A week later, I got a text from an unknown number. You win. I'm nothing. Hope you're proud. Cassandra's advice was simple. Don't respond. This is her last fishing line. The house sold. I used the money to launch my own cybersecurity firm. I'm now consulting internationally, even speaking at conferences. I met someone too, Erica. She's the polar opposite of Sabrina. Quiet, grounded, warm. No games. We're taking it slow. I've learned to be cautious, but not closed. As for Sabrina, through a friend in the legal community, I heard she bounced between shelters, finally moving out of state. The baby's now in foster care, placed with a couple looking to adopt. He'll get a new name, a clean slate. He deserves that. The tragedy isn't just what she did to me, it's what she did to her own child. And the victory isn't just that I kept my house, my money, and my life. It's that I escaped her gravitational pull before it dragged me into the wreckage. Sabrina once looked me in the eyes and said, "Either way, I win." But she misunderstood the game. You don't win by taking half of someone else's life. You win by building a life they never expected you to recover from. And I did. Stronger, wiser, free.